Pax is back again with his Chaos Lord today, and he's going to be facing, very thematically, against the Ordo Malleus of the Tenso. And his Demon Hunter with his beautiful looking Force Sword. Look at it, and his dreadlocks. You got all the dreadlocks on this geezer. Check them out. Of course, that's tubing of some sort, some cybernetic tubing going into the backpack there. I mean, it seems quite inconvenient. Feels like that shit would get chopped off quite easily in combat. Honestly, it looks hella uncomfortable, to be honest, the way it's pulling at his skin and his forehead. Oh my god, I've been having such bad dry skin recently in winter. Looking at that is making me cringe. Christ. This shit's feeling so bad, and I ain't got no taut skin. My skin ain't taut. It's feeling awful. Okay. We've got a pretty conventional opening for both players here. We've got the 2 Heretics for Pax. We got the 2 IST for the Tenso. Dude, I always forget to turn off my Steam and it drives me mad. CSM, of course, meeting the IST is a great engagement for them. The IST's terrible little lasguns can't do anything to the CSM. Likewise, to be honest, the CL can just tank the Demon Hunter all day long. They both do an equally terrible amount of damage, but the CL having, what, 250 extra HP means the CL can win that fight. Of course, found himself rather outnumbered there, though, and had to get out of there. But Tenso blobbing all of his units around the DH there to get rid of the CL is having some consequences. It means that Pax is having a little bit better situation in the early game here, in terms of the map control. We'll see how it lasts. Obviously, Strike Squad are the counter to the CSM. If you can deter the IST, sure, but you send in the Strike Squad, they will beat up the CSM in melee. That's where you need some AC ticks to run over and deal with them, but we do see some AC ticks over here. They're just capping for now. Wow, very fast Hunter's Blade here for the Demon Hunter. This is generic 50 DPS power melee tier 1 weapon. Big spike in his effective damage against the heavy infantry CSM. Decent spike in damage as well against the commander armor of the Chaos Lord. These heretics need to be very careful. They are getting their aspirant champion, so they will be able to beat the Strike Squad one-on-one, but if the 2 IST are also pew-pewing in, I don't think the heretics have got much hope. Nope. Too much supporting firepower, they got to get out of there, they're just bleeding at this point. CSM going over here to bash, but honestly there's not really many gens. Tenso actually kind of messing up there, given he went for such a fast Force Sword as well. Oh, and the Liber Malleus, the Sundering ability that you get with this, should have had his gens up a long time ago. Man, it is a very dominant performance in terms of the map control right now. Running his IST way too far forward, what is Tenso doing? Really not microing. He is using his Sundering ability here, so he's debuffing the damage resistance of the Heretics. But it doesn't matter. These guys are too low on HP with the supporting fire of the CSM. The IST getting suppressed, so they couldn't really contribute. And now the Chaos Lord running in with his Combi Bolter might even take out the Demon Hunter here. 100% fire on the move from this Combi Bolter is quite threatening. It seems to be shooting at the IST, who he gets down to 12 HP. The IST squad is sneakily capping the corner of the map here, but this is looking like an amazing start for Pax. Pax has got a full gen farm up as well. Honestly, if I'm Pax at this point, fuck it, just put down another gen over here. Get put down the node, build another gen so you got your 4 gens, get to tier 2 nice and fast. I suppose the worry would be if a Purgation squad comes out, but it's clearly not gonna, because Tenso's bled so much. He's now got the Armour of Fortitude, and he's upgraded his Strike Squad with the Tomes of Titan, so you can see they've got increased HP regen when out of combat, as well as that improved health and melee damage. Also the Energy Burst. Wow, they lose their Strike Squad model instantly there, though. Man, that's brutal. The Demon Hunter just chopping away at Chaos Lord is such an ineffective use of his kit right now. I mean, we're talking absolutely full investment here onto this Demon Hunter, and it's just been wasted. I mean, this is good attacking the aspirant champion. I would assume that the aspirant champion on the Heretics, given that he's a Marine, is heavy infantry, but maybe he's not. I'm not actually sure. You do sometimes get mixed armor types. For example, the Shuriken weapon team for the Eldar, the actual Shuriken itself, the platform, is a heavy infantry model, whereas the Guardians that support it are only light infantry. So the point there would be, he's using 50 DPS power melee. If he's striking the champion, then that's a lot more effective damage. It looked like it was doing bonus damage. It seemed to do a lot per chunk. But Tenso's finally pushing out. His IST got forced off down here by another AC tick squad, and Pax is just going tier 2. Now, one of the things that's nice about the Chaos tier 2 is that they don't actually need that much power to be very effective. You can just spam Bloodletters and Plague Marines. These are both very requisition heavy purchases, but yeah, they can be very effective. So I imagine that that's probably what Pax is going to be doing, and the reason why he's not built another gen down here. Typically, if you are going for a fast tech, this kind of light tier 1, then going for a 4th gen can be very good. But requisition, I suppose, in tier 2, probably most valuable to Chaos and Orc. Sorry, not Orc, Tyranids. Because Tyranids, if you think about it, they've got Venom Brood, Zoanthrope, and Gene Stealers, all of which are heavily requisition based tier 2 purchases, so very comparable to the Bloodletters and the Plague Marines. Let's see if he's going to hit this Aspirant Champion again. He is. That really does seem like it's doing more damage when he's hitting the Aspirant Champion. I assume he is a heavy infantry model. No Sundering, so he's not doing the bonus damage from reducing his DR. This is a great fight though for the Demon Hunter, because it's just feeding him XP since all the damage onto the dead hit ticks here is coming from the Demon Hunter, so it's not getting shared. But this, probably a little bit trickier. Yeah, you just worship and yeet your Chaos Lord into the IST. Wow, he's already got Let the Galaxy Burn here as his first tier 2 purchase after the Blood Crusher, which is coming out of the base right now. I mean, you can see the Let the Galaxy Burn. Oh, he misclicked his retreat, that's unfortunate. Obviously, he was trying to get rid of these heretics and accidentally retreated his Chaos Lord. But yeah, Tenso's going to have to be very careful of the Let the Galaxy Burn at close range against his IST. That will do some really, really frightening damage. Now the Blood Crusher, of course, is just free to Gen Bash. Tenso is only a quarter of the way to tier 2, so no AV potential for him. To be fair to Tenso, he's done quite well here, taking back the map. He's managed to sneak a unit into the central VP. I'm not sure that these ticks can take him on. Again, he's focusing on the heretic. Okay, he's going to use the Blood Sacrifice. Wow, that does not feel like it's worth it at all. And the positioning of the Demon Hunter here means that he can't even get hit by the Bloodletters. That's quite hilarious. Okay, he needs to get out of there, though. Oh my god, is he going to kill the heretics? No, surely not. No, the Bloodletters are chopping him up. So he enters stasis with his Indomitable armor. He should be able to get out of there. Yeah, the heretics are retreating. He'll just be able to retreat now and get away, I think. Is he going to stay in play? No. Of course, nothing to contest the Power Bash over here because Tenso can't deal with the Blood Crusher, but he is now tier 2. He's got a Rhino coming, so the Rhino's unique out of all the Imperial transports in that it can upgrade itself with an anti-vehicle weapon. It can get a las cannon. So that would be a tool against the Blood Crusher, but it's not that effective because the las cannon, it's really good against other vehicles because they can repair whilst moving very easily. But the Blood Crusher being able to get healed 10 HP per second by worship makes the las cannon very ineffective. I'm not sure what the las cannon does in terms of DPS. I think it's something like 16 DPS or something. So if you think about it, a Blood Crusher under worship is only going to lose 6 HP per second if it just sits there under worship and gets shot by a las rhino. And it won't sit there, it'll run into melee. Then it gets 50% reduced damage taken because of the range damage resistance when in melee. So it's very tricky if your only source of AV is a las cannon to kill a Blood Crusher against a decent player who's going to be using worship. And Pax sees this las cannon and he's just going to go get a Chaos Dreadnought. Chaos Dreadnought can zone out the Rhino even by default just with its autocannon because the Chaos Dreadnought has so much more HP than the las Rhino. But if the Chaos Dreadnought was to commit to a Mark of Tzeentch, which I'm not saying I would recommend, in fact, I would not recommend it, but if it does, then it will obviously zone out the lascannon Rhino with tremendous ease. I mean, probably 3 salvos from that T-Dread will kill a Rhino. I'm not sure how much a T-Dread salvo actually does in terms of damage to vehicles. But yeah, the DPS on a missile dress probably about twice the Rhino. I wouldn't recommend it though, because tanky Strike Squad, or even the tanky Demon Hunter with this loadout, could just tie up the Chaos Dreadnought. One thing that I'd like to see here to enable him to defeat these Chaos vehicles is the AV armor that you can get in tier 2 on the Demon Hunter. I forget the bloody name of it. What's it called? Some sort of curse. I forgot the name. It's the tier 2 curse armor that basically lets you cast a spell which functions very similar to a Melter Bomb, except in addition to being just a Melter Bomb, so a Melter Bomb works by snaring a vehicle and damaging it, right? It does that, but in addition to that, it also puts a DR debuff onto the vehicle, so then it takes more damage from your other sources of AV, like your lascannon Rhino, so you can beat up the Blood Crusher even when it's under worship. But a bit of a panic here from the Tenso, as his lascannon Rhino is getting ambushed by this Chaos Dreadnought. The Strike Squad probably want to run to melee there, stop it from being able to fire except when it's chasing. And it was chasing for a while, but now it's going to disengage, and the Demon Hunter blocks the Blood Crusher from escaping there. We've also got some Crusaders called in, which is an interesting choice. We'll see how they do. They're going to be very squishy to start with. Oh, the last Rhino's taking ages to engage. Demon Hunter should probably tie up the Chaos Dreadnought. Blood Crusher turning it back around now is very, very risky. They're going to kill... Okay, they killed the Strike Squad, and the Demon Hunter managed to kill one of the Heretic squads. Can the Crusaders kill the Blood Crusher? No. Scared away by the demonic roar there of the Blood Crusher, and the Blood Crusher needs to turn around and get away. The Chaos Dreadnought's actually in a really bad spot right now, because like I said, the Demon Hunter's tying it up, and this is why I said I wouldn't even go for the Mark of Tzeentch Dreadnought. Okay, Crusaders need to get out of there. They're actually getting shot as the Dreadnought's trying to disengage. But yeah, this is the problem with the Walkers. They don't retreat, and of course these vehicles are faster, but it was quite cocky play really from Pax. Pax, of course, having the entire map right now and having a 400 VP lead to the 174 quickly draining for the Tenso. He was able to just purchase another Dreadnought, and I guess that's why he's playing so cocky. You see, of course, when it just sits there and stands and trades with an isolated Rhino, it does really well, but the problem, of course, right now is you've got the 2 IST able to repair the Rhino, we've got no Heretics around to repair the Dreadnought, and you just tie up the Dreadnought in melee with a tanky asset like the Demon Hunter or the Strike Squad. Not really the Crusaders, they're not really tanky enough. Crusaders should be going around dealing with AC ticks. I'm pretty sure they'll beat AC ticks quite handily. Maybe lose 2 models. That'll be a good trade. Now typically Crusaders generally used with synergy from the Rhino. When the Crusaders die, they inspire all their nearby other Crusaders, so they get more damage and more HP. So if you combine that with an ability that allows you to reinforce, like the Rhino, that's very, very strong, because they just keep getting stronger and stronger and stronger and stronger as a squad every time a model dies. But they get a massive spike in their power when you get to tier 3, and you can get the Minister on Priest added as a squad leader to them. It doesn't look like Tenso's going to be able to do that. I mean, okay, he's building his generators again now. I was going to say he's got no gens, but he's working on it. He has a massive amount of requisition float, to be fair. My god, Pax has just got an absolutely ridiculous amount of vehicles. He bought 2 Blood Crushers. He really wants to overwhelm the Las Rhino, and he certainly will. Tenso's going to need some more AV than that. You could get a Vindicator, which would be a bit more mobile, or you just go for your traditional option with the Conversion Beam of Purgation, which basically acts as a fancy lascannon. Gonna need more AV though, this is ridiculous. Yeah, he's going for the Vindicator. I actually like the Vindicator here because the problem with the Conversion Beamer is against 2 Blood Crushers, which can have their speed buffed by the Khorne worship. Using a setup team, I don't know, it feels like you're not going to have very long to get much play out of that setup team. I think it's called the Rites of Exorcism, the ability on the Demon Hunter, and I don't know what The armor's cold, but he needs to get this. Imagine if he had it here, just bang, snare it, do that spike damage like a melter bomb, and make them take more damage from all your other sources. Now the Vindicator needs to be very careful about the Chaos Lord. Probably just want to put him inside there right now. Okay, the Rhino needs to kite. Strike Squad on the back lines, they're putting a lot of pressure on the Heretics, which you can see had to retreat. Let the Galaxy burn into the base. Jesus Christ, Pax, chill. I'm gonna lose the Chaos Lord. Crusader's going crazy on his ass, in tandem with their Demon Hunter, and Pax really just overextending into the base way too much. Now, once again, we're noticing that the two vehicles for the Calm player are isolated. No worship there to support them, so what can the Rhino do? Turn around and hunt them down. But there's a lack of VPs here for Tenso. He's got his IST in the middle. Vehicles are going to turn and trade. He needs to get something tying up this Dreadnought. Demon Hunter should be trying up the Dreadnought, not attacking the Blood Crusher. That is not needed. But the Chaos Dreadnought, when it's firing on the move, is going to focus on the nearest thing, not the Rhino. Probably needs to turn around and just grab that Vindicator. Oh my god. He's throwing. Should have just grabbed that Vindicator. Is the Vindicator going to die anyway? Yeah, he is. CSM just shoot him to death with the bolters. Oh my gosh. We've got Plague Marines coming out for Pax. Pax says he's got really good map control, but I don't know, he's capitulating, he's throwing away his assets. He played super greedy here with his lead. Now he's throwing away all of his assets. These Crusaders plus Strike Squad are going to be a huge problem. When you've only got AC ticks to deal with the melee, it's not ideal. Obviously their Crusaders unsupported and entering the fight with less than 100% HP to start with is not great for them. But the Crusaders just should be moving around now with the Rhino. In combination with the Rhino, I mean, it's going to be very challenging to take them out. A Demon Hunter would probably get a lot of benefit by picking up the Force Halberd. He's actually gone for a second Crusader squad. I guess. They're relatively cheap compared to Grey Knights, that's the thing. They're faster as well, so if you want map control, they're pretty nice. But the Bloodletters are a much better option if you want to try and beat those guys in melee. They won't trade amazing against the Crusaders. I'm not actually sure who wins a 1v1. Obviously Bloodletters are intended to be used under worship though. If you're just sending Bloodletters around isolated, then you're not using them anywhere near their full potential. But it's nice to have a unit that can win those side capping engagements. Let's see. So obviously we've got two Crusaders here. What? One of these leveled up? Oh yeah, this Crusader's level 2. Proccing a special there on the Bloodletters straight away, and the Bloodletters aren't going to be able to retaliate. You've seen that special with some pretty big damage. But okay, we've got Blood Sacrifice coming in now. I think these guys need to get out of there. Bloodlust as well. There's going to be some crazy damage coming out. Something needs to tie up the Plague Marines. That should be the Demon Hunter. We can see that the Crusaders here are reinforcing off of the Rhino. Okay, now the other Crusaders are going to move in. Wow. Look at the synergy here. Like I said, man, Crusaders plus Rhino, really powerful. You can see, look at the fucking HP on these guys. Max HP of 2,100. I mean, he's chopping his way through them. Bloodletter's turning around and getting another kill there, but I'm not sure how much they cost to reinforce. They're definitely not that expensive. As I say, that's the main advantage of the Crusaders, is that they're relatively cheap for the amount of DPS that they can output, but they're much less durable than your Strike Squad. Especially to ranged fire, because they're light infantry. And you can see the HP values down here. Strike Squad nearly double the HP of the Crusaders. Obviously, as each Crusader dies though, they get that HP buff, which helps them have a surprising amount of staying power. Can we see how much they cost? 35.4. So pretty cheap in terms of the requisition. Not nothing, but pretty cheap. The 4 power is actually quite expensive though. But if we look at the economy of both of our players, power is something that neither of these players are lacking right now. It is all about the wreck. Again, Demon Hunter should just be going into melee. Demon Hunter definitely should pick up the Halberd here. He's doing really well just as a melee guy. Having the on-demand AoE knockback and damage spike from the Inferno ability of the Force Halberd would be lovely. Not to mention it's a fairly significant DPS increase. I don't remember how much DPS it is about 75 DPS or something compared to the 50 of the Power Sword. Plague Marine, oh my god, he stopped shooting. And the IST are tying it up in melee. Yeah, Crusader's getting wrecked there, even with the Demon Hunter support, because of course the Bloodletters were under worship. I mean, basically nothing can beat Bloodletters under worship 1v1. Not in tier 2. You need a tier 3 unit for that. You've really got to get rid of the supporting heretics. Demon Hunter slaying one of the Bloodletters in retreat there. Putting in some crazy work with that Force Sword, but here comes another Strike Squad and a Crusader Squad. The problem for Pax is his Bloodletter's just retreated. Yeah. He could do with a melee upgrade on his Chaos Lord as well, to be honest. He's going to get a decent kill of the week, but this guy doesn't do anything. He's running around with the Combi Bolter, so he's 30 DPS power melee. I mean, it's just irrelevant at this point against level 3 fully upgraded Strike Squad. Good luck, my friend. Pew pew coming out there. So the tier 3 tech is for Tenso. I mean, he's got to be feeling very safe. He's been dominating Pax for a while now. Pax really needs to make this Dreadnought kill this damn Rhino. I mean, he's got the Plague Marines as well to support now. He's had Tenso down to super low VPs for a very long time. Plague Marine gets his missile off, that's going to snare. Problem is the Crusaders are now in combat. Now the Demon Hunter's around. What's the Demon Hunter doing? He's got to stay on the Plague Marines, can't let them shoot. Sacrifice. Yeah, he doesn't have anything to get rid of the IST either, so they're healing. So the autocannon of the Dreadnought's not very high DPS either. So it's really struggling to penetrate past the double heals of the IST. Needed the Bloodletters to be on the back line as well. And there you go. Las Rhino proving to be quite effective in this instance. Crusaders likewise. But this melee Demon Hunter, probably the star of the show. I feel like he has just been slaying heretics literally all game with his Force Sword in melee. See the HP of these guys. It's not that high. Yeah, it's passing like 2000. When all the buffs are stacked. There's no way he can win this, right? I mean, he's got a 2-to-1 cap for a bit. Demon Hunter's actually really low on HP right now. Yeah, but the 10 Crusaders are running over. Oh yeah, and they're tier 3 now, so they can get the Acolyte Leader. Should be a Ministorm Priest. And when he comes, he will rip the Chaos Lord to pieces with his Eviscerator. Bloodletters are coming in, but they're going to get the decap. Yeah, there goes the Frenzy. Oh my god, look at these guys. So that Frenzy ability, the Battle Frenzy, it gets better when they've got the Priest with them in tier 3. It makes the damage spike a lot stronger. They can go back to capping. The cap in the mid as well. They managed to secure this with the IST, Strike Squad in the mid. There's nothing to contest it here from Pax. No, these Bloodletters are busy trying to fight the Crusaders, which just keep reinforcing. Yeah. Oh, now we've got Psychic Fortress. I forgot the name of that one there as well. Really nice ability on your melee squads, especially when you're fighting demons. Very fitting for the auto melee as the slow and the AoE drain around them. Very good. Stop them being able to phase and teleport out as easily. And also stop them being able to chase you when you're running past them to hunt down the heretics. Pax is screwed here. Poor Pax. He tried, bless him, bless him. Crusaders. You don't see Crusaders every day. Double Crusaders with a Rhino. I mean, it's a legit strategy. It is pretty good, for sure. Generally, you want ranged DPS to try and counter them, and packs did not have a lot of that. You know, a few Blastmaster shots on these squads, that would hurt a lot. Because doing damage to the models all in an instant before they can get their HP buffs. Autocannon, just more CSM upgraded. Don't really feel like the CSM did a lot here. I felt like they weren't really present in the army versus army fights as well. I don't know. What can you do? It's going to be all for this one, folks. Hope you enjoyed a little bit of Ordo Malleus there, fighting their thematic opponents. If you did, please leave a comment down below and help us in that eternal battle that we have, the long war against the algorithm. It's going to be all from your boy Torpid this time. I am signing out.